Howdy folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Today we have a very cool Ford Mustang in the studio. It is Brad Keselowski's Fastenal Ford. Wow. I mean, huge shout out to the RFK camp for getting their first win since the rebadge, if you will, from the end of 2021 when they became RFK from Roush Fenway. And the first win for Brad Keselowski as a Cup owner. I gotta say, that is insanely impressive. First year to go out there and score a win. And I'm willing to stand on the hill and say, I guarantee you they would not have won that race without Brad Keselowski as ownership. They have slowly, methodically changed this team into, hey man, I hope it continues to grow back into somewhat of a powerhouse. Only time will tell. But without further ado, let's go and get this diecast out of the box. Alrighty folks, so this is officially the first ever Brad Keselowski true paint scheme to be made from the RFK camp, which is just, it's crazy, because every time I think of Brad K, I think of the Miller Lite Dodge Chargers from 11 to 12, even the 2010 Penske Charger. So let's go ahead and dig into this diecast review. Never mind this stuff on my hand, it's dried, don't worry about it. That's what happens when you mess around with acetone. But you got Fastenal, where industry meets innovation, and I tell you what, Keselowski's got the innovation over there, because he is, I mean, at the start of the season, I mean, it was the Grim Reaper. I mean, nothing was going right for this camp. Got Keselowski on the name banner. But as the season has went on, slowly but surely, man, have they picked it up. I mean, the last time I can remember Roush actually being competitive at road courses was probably Carl Edwards in an Aflac Ford in 2014. Got the number 6 right there, Sunoco. You got the Ford Pony right there. Something's not adding up. I mean, look at the Ford logo is too much to the left, and the Pony is too much to the right, so the whole front end's a little bit wonky, Joel. Call it a 2006 Ford Taurus Twisted Sister front end, if you will. Get the RFK logo there. This paint scheme has a very, very cool fine gradient to it. It's kind of like a carbon fiber, kind of a honeycomb pattern, if you will. Check out that blue metallic. Guys, if you haven't picked up this car, what are you doing? This thing is incredible. Look at how beautiful that blue is. And this is going to be the only way you're going to be able to get a Brad K car that has this metallic number. The Authentics are not going to have that, guys. So if you want to have that beautiful number 6 reflective finish, if you will, you're going to have to get it in the Gold Series. Because if you get it in the Authentics line, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be available, you're going to have a flat finish number. It's not going to look as good, guys. That's why I cannot stress it enough to get it in the Gold Series. Just like the Christopher Bell DeWalt car, the Harrison Burton primary paint scheme. And of course, you could save with shipping over there at Circle B Diecast with the promo code down below. Use code Diecastbuffet, guys. That's where I got this car from, fellas. I'll help you out. So, back to the gradient here. Look at the front. You can kind of see a light blue, what do you call those? Are they octagons? I think that's what they're calling. Who knows? Honeycombs? Anyways, you can see a light blue pattern, right? And then it kind of tapers off, kind of shadowed, and then this BAM! Reflective number. And then it slowly creeps up with kind of a swimming pool blue. Yes, swimming pool blue. And it creeps up behind the Fastenal logo. And it's really nice. And you do have like these tiger stripes behind the wording. Looks really nice. It's got Kohler generators. There you got Mac Tools, Simeons, whatever that is. Brad Keselowski above the driver panel. Got Kohler generators again. Ford, Fastenal, and Castrol. Goodyear Cup Series. And you know, when they won the Bristol night race with Buescher, with the Fastenal camp, I mean, I don't think we truly realize how big of a deal it is. For someone who remembers when Roush was the biggest team in Ford's camp, I mean, that they were the biggest thing. I mean, imagine Penske and Stewart-Haas Racing combined. That's how big Roush was back in the mid-2000s. Because Yates was on their way out, right? Penske already switched from Ford in 02 to Dodge in 03. They were the king of it. And as you can see, this wheel's a little bit bent there, I think, unfortunately. But they fell off in the late 2000s. And I'll add another cool thing to it. If you want to know more about the Roush camp and their downfall, unfortunately, I watched on the Dale Jr. download, and they had Greg Biffle on there, and he talked about how they were just so behind on technology, and he explains it like so perfectly why they could not keep up with the when Penske went to Ford in 2013 and Stewart-Haas Racing in 2017 went to Ford. It puts everything in perspective. They just could not adapt and innovate like the rest of the teams. So of course in the back you can see a little bit of a decal mess up right here on the spoiler. That's unfortunate there. I could probably touch it up, probably chip it off and then retouch it up. It's fine. I ain't too worried about it. But you got Fastenal RFK number 6. Go to the right side of this diecast, and what a cool looking piece. Now, I don't know how different the Chris Buescher Fastenal car will be. I hope it's very similar because I love duo paint schemes. But that blue, that is unbelievable. It's like almost like a mermaid underwater blue, like a fish scale blue. That is incredible, dude. And the Violent Defense car, it's got a reflective purple number. I mean, the Castrol car, I believe it has a silver number. I mean, you got to get them in the Gold Series to get that, dude. I know it costs a little bit more, but it's so worth it. Years from now, when you have these cars in your collection, and you look back and you're like, wow, I am glad I got the, I guess you could consider it the true version of it, so to speak. But what a very modern, fast paint scheme. And, you know, Brad Keselowski going to Roush, I truly don't think Buescher would have won that Bristol race without Brad K going over there. I mean, if they would have just had to insert generic young driver, throw in a Zane Smith, throw in a Todd Gilliland, maybe even Harrison Burton, a driver just trying to start out, and they put him in the number 6 car with the, you know, pretty much the retirement of Ryan Newman, unfortunately, I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't think any of the cars make the playoffs, which unfortunately they didn't, but I don't think they're going to be anywhere close. They needed a veteran leadership over there at Roush to kind of come in and bring them back up to speed. And I think Keselowski, whether you like him or not, I think he's the perfect guy to do it. He's been a Ford advocate. You know, he's from Michigan. I think he's very passionate about the Ford camp. And I tell you what, he has done a phenomenal job thus far. Get Keselowski in the back window, and Fastenal right there. It really does remind me of a swimming pool blue, and I mean that in a good way. Like it's a good color choice. This is awesome diecast, guys. I'm really digging it. First ever Brad Keselowski. You know, Gold Series 164 for his Roush debut. And you know what's interesting is that there's 2 drivers in the sport that we continue, well, I'd say the newer generation probably doesn't remember, but everybody forgets that they actually drove for Hendrick Motorsports. And they're 2 of the most, I would say, controversial or unlikable drivers by average poll. And that being Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. But a lot of people don't realize they were both Hendrick drivers at one point. Brad Keselowski was a developmental driver for Hendrick Motorsports. Dale Jr. saw him in the Truck Series, brought him over there. He actually drove Cup races in the COT era for Hendrick. He drove the 25 car, right? And then Kyle Busch from, what is it, 04, I think, yeah, it was 04 because he filled in for Terry Labonte to 2007. He was a Hendrick driver. He's going back over to Chevrolet. I think Hendrick has an engine partnership or something with Earnhardt, or Childress, right? There's some sort of an engine partnership or a technical alliance. So it's just really interesting how everything comes full circle, right? Roush gets one of the old Hendrick drivers, arguably one of the best Penske drivers ever. And RCR gets Kyle Busch. It's just, what a crazy, crazy era of the sport we're in. I never in a million years would thought Keselowski would leave Penske and certainly go to Roush. And I never thought Kyle Busch would leave Toyota. It's just crazy, man. What an interesting era we are in right now. And I say, guys, enjoy it because there's been so many years that the next-gen car, or next-gen, but the previous-gen cars were just, the racing quality was lackluster, and next gen has just rejuvenated the sport more than anyone can ever imagine. I mean, we would have never had North Wilkesboro even probably considered without having people show up to that race. And you can't tell me people were not excited to go to that race because of the excitement around the whole sport. Even though they only ran late models, I think the excitement around the 2022 season got people, you know, fired up to go watch that late model race, to go watch Dale Jr., knowing that, hey, there's a real possibility Cup Series could come back to it. And I just think all across the board, grassroots to the top, I think the whole sport right now is in a much, much better state than it was 2 or 3 years ago because it was getting grim, right? And the next-gen car has just completely changed it all over. Can they keep that going, though? That's going to be the biggest question because with technology, the teams are going to get better. And how can they keep everyone staying equal in the sport? Be interesting to follow, guys. Thank you all again for watching. Have a great one out there, guys. If you can, please like, comment, and subscribe. More next-gen stuff Count up here on the channel. We got William Byron stuff, Blaney stuff. We got even Eric Jones stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun, guys. Hope you can stick around for that, and I appreciate all those who watch. Have a great one, everybody. Diecast Buffet. Signing off.